The PlayStation Summer Sale just added another batch of new games and it continues to impress. Lots of new low prices. It's not just focusing on AAA either, but there's a whole lot of indie goodness as well. Today I have 15 games for you all, good for all budgets. My name's Alex, this is PlayStation Corner, and if you do enjoy this video, consider subscribing. It helps us out a huge amounts. Before we do get started then, I do have a winner to announce for a $10 PSN gift card and one more to give away. To enter, drop a comment down below and that winner, they'll be announced in next Tuesday's deals video. I also do want to point out that I'm avoiding any games available for free with PS Plus, so games like Returnal, Death Stranding, Ghost of Tsushima, they have been removed for this video. We're starting with Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, and this is a remaster of a 2007 release, and it's an action RPG spin on the formula. While this may not be uncommon now for Final Fantasy, it was somewhat when this was released. It tells the story of Zack Fair, his work with Soldier, alongside the likes of Sephiroth, and then his connection to Cloud. This is good stuff, and while yes, it does show its age with some extremely linear missions, it is a fun spin-off from the main series, and it was definitely good now to see it back. They've also done a great job with this remaster, updated visuals, models, improved systems, and new music, and also full voice acting in both English and Japanese. It's 30% off and matching the low price. Warhammer 40,000 Boltgun, and I reviewed this on the channel. Find that video in the pinned comment, but if you like your retro styled first person shooters, this one is a must buy. Now it does have some issues. I found some levels lack guidance and it does get a little repetitive by the end game, but it's a fantastic use of the license as you set out to investigate mysterious readings and end up battling Chaos Marines. I think what makes this so fun is just the little modern touches, such as your melee attacks which teleport you from one enemy to the other, chopping them to absolute pieces. If you like the license or first person shooters, it should be in your library, and it's a new low price, 25% off. Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate, and while yes, the base game is available on PS Plus, this version includes so many extras it is well worth this 85% discount, and that is a price we've only seen once before. Now this release includes all characters, stages and story expansions that is going to be known as Aftermath. This makes though for two surprisingly entertaining storylines, a 37 fighter roster including the likes of the Terminator, Robocop and Joker, and then all game modes. I don't think you can go wrong with this one if you want an ultra-violent fighter experience, and you'll easily get your money's worth at this price point. Definitely a great time to jump in as well with a new entry right around the corner. Inscryption, in my opinion, is a masterpiece. It's here with 40% off, a new at low price. It's an unusual combination of elements, part roguelike deck builder and part almost escape room, as you can leave the desk you are playing at for some first-person exploration. It will actually give you clues to the situation. I don't want to give anything away, but it will go places you do not expect, and you'll be asked to face off against a mysterious figure that wants you dead, sitting opposite on the table. If you watch reviews, just kind of be wary of spoilers. It's impressive though as the sign goes, and yeah, easily one of the must-play games on the system. Swordship is another indie gem, and it's here with 60% off. Now this one does suffer from a lack of content, which could easily be fixed with the addition of something like think an endless mode, but the concept is simple and it works really well. It's a reverse shoot 'em up, meaning you won't attack enemies, rather you'll be avoiding incoming fire, and if you play smart enough you can make them shoot at each other. Now sadly the story is lacking, but the idea is you are a runner for some sort of population that's been pushed out, and you are out gathering up goods to deliver back to them. It's not particularly easy, but even with constant death, it is over a little too soon. Tons of unlocks to chase after as well, though, if that is your thing for longevity, and you will be then leveling up between these different runs. After the Fall Complete Edition, just a quick mention for the PSVR 2 fans out there. I've not spent much time with this myself, but Luke did a live stream of this on the channel. I'll link that below. He had an absolute blast. Seems it's a spin on the Left 4 Dead formula, but this time in a frozen landscape. This also seems like a great price to me with 50% off. It is a new low, and I know he was really impressed with the mechanics and modes. Tales of Arise is one of the best action RPGs I've played in a long time. There's a huge amount of mechanics packed in here, so I'd urge you to watch a full review before you do part with that cash. But visually this is stunning. I love the story. Two individuals from very different worlds come together to take on an evil empire, and the gameplay just generally absolutely fantastic. I know it does sound overall pretty paint by numbers, especially with that storyline, but I think they handled the characters just so well. Additionally, at this price, 67% off, it matches the low, and you are getting a huge amount of game here for your cash. So if you want something to keep you busy, this is going to be a great choice. Weird West Definitive Edition gets a new low price, 75% off. Now, I only picked this up myself relatively recently, but I do not regret it. For this price, it is more than worth it. This one, it's a dark fantasy action RPG. It's a mix of top-down and stealth, and expect here to use several weapons, spells, and abilities to tackle enemies, and even some minor puzzles as well. Now, it's set in the American frontier, and each journey will be different as the world reacts to each decision made. And yeah, you're setting out to essentially make a legend of yourself, whether that's solo or with a posse. It is Devolver Digital 2, which is a sign of quality. Mato Anomlaies is another one I played relatively recently, and honestly, it's far from perfect. The world is small, I found some of the locations to be repetitive, definitely has a few performance issues here and there, and it definitely just overall feels budget. However, I still walked away enjoying it. Consider this a warning though that maybe you should look into it a little more beforehand, but I felt it clearly took influence from Persona, and it's for sure a unique idea. So expect here turn-based combat, and you'll be jumping between two worlds, one as a detective in the real world, the other as a ninja of sorts in a digital world, and you're overall investigating a series of murders. I hope we see more of this world because it shows huge potential, and here 50% off is a new low price. My pickups of the week then, I'm grabbing two games as always. These are not recommendations, but maybe you'll want to join me for the ride. First up is Piece Odyssey, a turn-based RPG where we are shipwrecked on a mysterious island and things, they are not as they seem. I just keep hearing relatively positive opinions around this one, and from the trailers, really do like the look of it. I'm also building myself up to watching the show in full, so this feels like good motivation. It's 40% off then, a new low price. Then my second pickup, Aliens Dark Descent. I was going to grab this day one, but I was away at the time, completely forgot about it, and this 20% off was a nice reminder. It's also a new low price. Now this is a real-time strategy spin on one of my favorite universes, and it feels like a match made in heaven. Thankfully, opinions on the game have been relatively high as well. Now the idea here is we lead a squad and we are fighting back against an alien outbreak on another world. Let me know if you've played either of these games, and if they were wise pickups on my part, would love to hear some thoughts. Nobody Saves the World gets a new low price, 50% off. This is an action RPG from the team behind Guacamelee. Now I reviewed this game on both Xbox and Switch, and then ended up with a PlayStation code as well somehow. However, I'm a big fan of this studio, and they did not disappoint. You take on the role of Title and Nobody, and you awake in a mysterious world only to discover a wand. This actually allows you to transform into other forms, and so begins a journey of trying to save this world while reuniting the wand with its owner. It's just a blast with all these different forms: rats, knights, eggs, horses, and the list from there goes on. Gets a little menu intensive as you do level up each form as well as yourself, so you'll be jumping around them a lot, but it is still good stuff. I highly recommend it, and I'll link the Xbox review that I did in the pinned comment. Definitely a comparable build. Dredge then gets 20% off, a new low price, and transparently my time has been with the Switch build. I only jumped in recently, but this game is something special. I don't think it's going to be for everyone. It is a slow burn, but if you like a mysterious adventure game with a dash of horror, this should have your attention. Now the idea here is to pilot your vessel around these islands, sell the catch to the locals, and complete quests along the way. Now as you do fish, things will get incredibly strange, and I'll leave it there for spoiler's sake, but I just got sucked into this whole loop of fishing, selling and upgrading, and there's always this unsettling backbone to this world. God of War Ragnarok is back, matching the low, 29% off, and this is only the second time we've seen this price. I don't think this needs much of an introduction, but action fans, just play it if you haven't already. Now I have heard some complaints that there are too many cutscenes, and I kind of get that, but I think that is okay when the storytelling is so good. Now the idea really is to protect our son, but it features a great cast, an opening sequence that will absolutely blow you away, and I'll leave it there. Play this if you haven't already, but I would recommend play the original first, as the story is a direct continuation. And yes, there is a sequence in here to catch you up as well, but why would you miss out on a classic? The winner of the week then is Metal and Mark, who grabbed Artful Escape, a great game, and it looks stunning on the PlayStation. Congrats Mark, drop me an email to claim your code, and everyone else, drop a comment down below for your chance in next week's video. Like a Dragon, Ishin, a digital deluxe edition, and this is the base game as well as some cosmetic and item based DLC. It's only a couple of bucks more than the base game, and I don't normally feature these editions on the channel, but I did miss the sale recently on the base game. Now, I'm a huge fan of the Yakuza series, and this is a spin-off that throws you into the 1800s. Here we are out to prove our innocence, and it's really the usual formula, a small open world to explore and some fantastic brawler combat. The cutscenes and the storytelling are fantastic, and there's just a ton of other side missions to complete along the way. It's been great to have seen this series get so popular over the last few years, and I do hope that is a continuing trend. And that is the video down. Will you be adding anything to the library? Let us know in the comments. With that, hit subscribe, join us here for reviews, deals, lists weekly, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.